Hey, what is up, guys? Today's episode is brought to you by the incredible sponsors of the program, ChemicalFreeBody.com. If health and wellness is a priority for you, then check out the incredible products over at Chemical Free Body. Plant-based nutritional supplements from Super Greens, my favorite, with all the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients and micronutrients in just one single scoop. Toss it in your glass of water, your shake, your smoothie, however you want to do it. They also have other incredible products, gut detoxers, anti-inflammatories, immune boosters, and so much more. ChemicalFreeBody.com, and check out that promo code ItsMe, all one word, ItsMe, for discounts at your checkout. And look, we have so many different insurance policies in our life, and if the last couple years has taught you anything, it taught me that storable food needs to be on that list. Prepare with ItsMe.com, the incredible products over at My Patriot Supply. They have 4-week supply of food, 3-month supply, all products with up to a 25-year shelf life. Have the peace of mind, ladies and gentlemen, of having storable food and have that supply on deck. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And if you have, shaving needs like nice chrome domes like me, SkullShaver.com is a whole new concept in face and head shaving. The products offered over there include men's head shavers, face shavers, hair clippers, and trimmers. And ladies, we haven't forgot about you with the butterfly kiss. And we also have a large selection of accessories to make your life that much more simple. All of the shavers come with removable, washable blades made of premium Japanese stainless steel to ensure flawless results. It just makes it so much easier. You can get your shaving done anytime, anywhere, in or out of the shower. It gets no better. SkullShaver.com /discount/ItsMe. All of the links to these incredible products will be in the description of this episode. So without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the show.
Everything gonna be all right this morning.
Off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, another episode for the Archives. It's me speaking to you, Jeffrey Wilson, coming to you live and direct here from the gateway to the West, St. Louis, Missouri. Man, so stoked to talk to this man today, man. Just known him for a long time, and he has just been grinding. He just stays grinding, dude. He is the definition of a go-getter, and we're going to talk about where he's been, where he's going, the big stuff he's got going on right now, the Odd TV network, which just launched last summer. So stoked to talk about it. Andre Holman, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's up with you, Jeff? Good to be with you, man. Good to be with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know you stay busy. You just, even with this, the STL TV, man, you were, I don't know if you're still working over there, but if you don't mind, man, because you have been literally, man, a staple of the community. I mean, it's just been such cool stuff how you do support the Lou. But then we're going to get into it, man, how through your years of working with STL TV, you leverage those relationships into much bigger things that you're doing right now, man. And it's really cool to watch. Give me, just chat me up a little bit on how you got started in the game, especially working with STL TV. And if people don't know, STL TV is it's something that's rooted here in St. Louis, city funded. But, like we always talk about, man, think globally, act locally. And Andre is somebody who's done that so very much. Give us a little background on how you got started working with STL TV.
No, man, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words, man. And I will tell you, I just feel blessed and honored, man, to have been in this position. And, I have worked here at STL TV since 1991. It was my last year at Southwest Missouri State, now known as Missouri State University. And all I needed was an internship. And so obviously they told me I could come back to St. Louis if I found an internship here. And crazy enough, it was the communication division at the time. It was not a channel. There were only 2 employees at the time working here, Carl Lawrence and a guy by the name of Jerry Berwin. Jerry is still here. And I started here because I wanted to get this internship, get some hands-on experience before I thought, okay, I'm going to go work at one of the news stations and be this videographer, editor. And I guess that wasn't God's plan for me, man, because it took me on a whole different journey. In 1991, I started, and almost 31 years later, I'm still here.
And you're still a young man in the game, without a doubt. Don't sleep, ladies and gentlemen. You're still a young man.
But now I am. I started off as an intern. I ended up sticking around when they were talking about expanding the station and bringing in more employees. And I became a video production specialist full time, and then the lady who brought me in a couple of years later, she decided to move on to ABC 30, and so I was actually offered the opportunity to apply for the supervisor position, and I took that position, which really was the establishing of, at that time, Channel 16. That's the number that we were on Charter. Well, at that time, um, we were only on Charter. There was nothing else. There was no YouTube, and there wasn't any AT&T U-verse. So that's where we were. And so I basically had to become like the overseer of this channel and try to figure out how to brand it and make it, something special for the city of St. Louis. As you mentioned, STL TV is the city of St. Louis's local government channel. There are about 1,500 stations like this across the country in Dallas, San Diego, Chicago, Miami-Dade, you name it, Denver. Those are the cities that have pretty big government channels, pretty much like ours. But I'm just truly thankful because this opportunity allowed me to work within the community and just continue to learn organizations, what initiatives and missions that different organizations were on. And I built a lot of great relationships over the years, man. And
yeah,
I'm just truly thankful, man, for what I've been blessed with. Seriously.
Well, it's cool, man. You definitely are one of those each one teach one kind of cats, man. And like you said, your intern experience has lended itself to what you're doing now. And that's what you've given back to the community. A lot of the people that have come in as interns have now gone on to do cool stuff. So that's something I wanted to talk to you about as it relates to, the Odd TV network. And this is something everybody could take a clue from, excuse me, about relationships, not burning bridges, networking and building relationships to the point where, like you said, you've been in the game 30 years and you've now been able to leverage these relationships that you built over this whole time. Yeah. So now you have people creating content for your network in Miami, in Chicago, in Atlanta, in Los Angeles. So take, success leaves clues, as Anthony Robbins says, and listen to what my man is saying when you guys go out for these business networking ventures and stuff like that. Don't think about things as short term. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, man, because like my man just said, he's been in the game for a hot minute and he's been able to leverage these relationships to an incredibly cool thing that he's got going now, which is the TV network. Lay it on me, brother, dude. This is, it's seriously, man, knowing you, as long as I've known you, not incredibly long time. We've known each other for a minute, but it's just, you didn't allow yourself to stay stuck in any kind of comfort zone. You've absolutely killed it over at STL TV. But again, your savvy, your business savvy and understanding of the game as it's been changing you. Again, you've been leveraging relationships to create content is king right now, ladies and gentlemen. Content is king. And what Andre's doing over at the Odd TV network is building and creating original content. If you don't mind, man, what was the impetus? What was the catalyst of creating that?
So the one thing that I thought about was, I love the development of STL TV, and we are definitely community based, and we want people to be engaged in what's happening in St. Louis. Well, the one thing that I wanted to do with the ITV network was to expand it beyond the borders of the city of St. Louis, the state of Missouri. I wanted to look at the relationships that I've built with interns that have worked for me in these 30 years, who are Tahir, who is a great comedian out in LA, who was an intern for me at STL TV, who I reached out to and said, hey, man, I love what you're doing. I mean, he's huge. He's grown leaps and bounds since he left here. And so I reached out, just one example. I reached out to him and just said, man, listen, this is what I'm doing. I want to create this network that not only has St. Louis content so that the world could see what STL TV or what STL is doing and how we are a part of the game. There are so many great and talented people here in St. Louis who are doing some phenomenal things. But a lot of times people don't know, and they be like, St. Louis. But when you go to other cities and you say, hey, I'm from St. Louis, people will always say, oh man, hey, I know so-and-so from there. Man, you guys are doing some cool things. And it might be on fashion. It might be on music. It might be on art. I'm telling you, man, it's really good to know that other people recognize what St. Louis has to offer, and they know that, this isn't a city that's just sleeping. And so I wanted to tap into all those individuals who have left and gone to Atlanta, like you said, Houston, Miami, New York, and just say, hey, what are you working on? How would it fit into the ITV network platform? Because we basically are doing one network that's lifestyle. So you can find anything on there from sports, entertainment, faith, fitness, food, anything that you really want to tap into, we'll have it on that network. And the one thing that I'm trying to do really, Jeff, is just make sure that it's well-rounded and that the quality is good enough that people will watch from wherever they're, I don't care if they're in Miami. I want them to be like, hey, yeah, I know that this show in Miami is on that ITV network. Or if you're in LA, be like, man, I know so-and-so's on that network. Let me go check them out. Because now I've expanded the base to give it a broader reach instead of just the people who are in St. Louis being interested in it. Now everybody will feel like they've got a stake in the game. Like, man, okay, well, my boy so-and-so's got a show on that channel. Let me check him out. And when you look at it that way, it makes it so much bigger. It makes it so much bigger than people just saying, oh, well, it's only St. Louis. Louis-based people on there.
Well, and like you said, man, there's so much just rich talent and so many of the cities that you mentioned. And with the change, I want to ask you, I guess, how has technology changed, with the ubiquitousness of technology? We have television studios in our pocket now. So, I mean, when we've seen this happen with the music industry for so long, you get Pro Tools, and if you're talented and you're savvy and you know how to advertise and market your stuff, the free market will dictate and it will get out there. Yeah. So what you've done is, we're no longer as content creators held back by the big companies, Interscope or, TV networks or music networks. We're now leveraging, like I said, a lot of our relationships to create talent that's not bound by the bigger companies. And, with these streaming services and YouTube, et cetera, it levels the playing field. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what's so cool what you've done, man. Because game recognizes game. And so you recognize you have talented people that you run into, in all these states and all these cities and all these times, that you've been doing what you're doing. So it's really cool that you're providing that platform that isn't necessarily held hostage, if you will, by the bigger companies waiting. People still line up to try to get TV shows on NBC, and there's nothing knocking that hustle. But again, going back to content being king, you're providing that conduit for these talented people. And with the technology being as ubiquitous and everywhere as it is, it levels the playing field, in my opinion. So kudos to you once again, brother.
No, but you were right on it, man. And I will tell you this. You said NBC, which was funny to me because I've been studying Byron Allen, man. I've been really just following his story and I actually take notes and just listen to his interviews. And I'm like, man, let me just keep getting these little nuggets and things from him, man. And his struggle to get where he is. People might think, okay, man, how did that guy do that? But he really went through some walls, he went over some walls, and he was just determined, man, to make it happen. And I flipped that to say, now the opportunity to create your own platform is so accessible, man. And it's like, man, I was thinking about, and this only really happened because probably about 8 or 9 years ago, my dad had told me, he's like, hey, son, you've been at SCL TV, you've been working for the Cardinals, you worked for the Rams for, over a decade. And, what's next for you? And I was like, Dad, I don't know, but I heard that this new technology is coming down the line that might allow me to offer my own platform. I might be able to have my own station. And my dad, he didn't understand, like, your own station. I'm like, yeah. I'm saying it's growing like that. It could be, in the next 5 years. And sure enough, man, technology has changed the game totally, man. So I'm just excited about the opportunity to now have something I can call my own. I still love and appreciate the legacy with STL TV, but it's going to be different to be able to have something that my kids and my wife and my grandkids, whatever, could be like, man, my dad or my granddad started this. He went out on his own and said he wanted to do his own thing.
Well, and again, it creates that kind of possibility where artists, content creators can be the captain of their own ship. And, this, as speaking about Byron Allen, man, I've always, what did Donnie Simpson used to say? Shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll still be among the stars. I swear, I've been hitting up Byron Allen for the last 2 months. The worst he could say is no, but you missed
Right.
100%. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, because I've always marveled at that cat. People used to clown him back. He has been around for so long. I remember Real People back in the day.
Oh my goodness,
man! And I even interviewed John Barber, who was the producer of that show. We talked about that. But again, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Did anybody know Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel?
No.
Dude, he has been killing it. He has created an absolute media empire. And again, you got to have patience. You're not going to come out the box, hitting home runs every time. And you have to have patience, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. But something I mentioned, I don't want to necessarily overlook, is the changing of technology, bro. You have seen it go from, not literally 8-track tape, but you know what I mean? You've seen it go from analog into this world of digital now, to the point where, back in the day, sets were, and they still are. You still got, all these moving parts on sets. Now it's almost in your hand. You got all this stuff you can do. Talk to me about a little, as you've seen the changing and technology and how that's changed the game.
Man, I'm really excited about just the fact that now you can plan on doing a shoot and not have a set at all.
Right.
The technology has changed so much with these virtual sets that you can have something that looks so good.
Yeah.
And
as a former PA, as a former production assistant, believe me, when you had to strike a set back in the day, you were there for a hot minute. Nowadays, like you said, it's grand opening, grand closing.
Oh my goodness. But you're right, man. Technology, it is just fascinating to me how far we've come. And you said it, and I laugh about it, but I was just laughing because I had a 3/4 tape that's obviously this thick and then this big. I just had it in my office a minute ago, and I was just looking at it like, man, look at how technology has changed. And so from getting here at STL TV, when it was just a communication division, we had 3/4 decks, and we went from 3/4 decks to VHS. And then from VHS, we had Super VHS. Then from Super VHS, we went to Beta. Then from Beta, we started getting into DVC Pro. Then from DVC Pro, that's when we started to finally say, okay, I don't need to take tape out anymore. I can actually record on this disc and bring it back, pop it into a computer, and download it.
Crazy.
So and just to think that how easy things are now, it's just crazy.
Well, to think about it, technology, obviously it grows in leaps and bounds and grows exponentially. But if you think about how quickly it's changed, usually it takes so long. Internet and digital stuff's been around for a long time, but literally in the last few years, I ran into a guy who's done production around here forever. And he was just kind of saying how, the market's done changed. A lot of these, and it's not any knocking anybody's house. A lot of these kids going out with their handheld, with their cameras, in their hands, has messed up the market a little bit, because a lot of these guys who've been doing it for so long can't quite ask for as much money as they used to. Right. But again, still, it just, everything is changing very fluidly. And, it's something that I've always just been marveled at, how quickly the technology has changed, and it's changed the games of something that was so huge and still is huge, like the music industry, the film industry. You have movies winning awards that are shot on iPhones. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily the technology, it's really the content, the team you assemble, and, pumping out that original content. Because once again, content is king. Yeah. And your thoughts about, again, not being held captive by, the big networks anymore, the big labels. Streaming content, we see it everywhere. Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick. Talk to me a little. I guess you kind of answered a little bit, but how those avenues have allowed people like yourself and other content creators to get their stuff out there without needing these big distribution deals, if you will.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I was studying before I even made this move. I was just like, man, let me get out here and see who's really attracting viewers. And so obviously I jumped right in on Roku. Roku was really hot, and everybody was like, man, you've got to have your stuff on Roku. Then Apple TV and Fire TV came along as well. But, really over the so when we launched in August, the end of August, we really were focused on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire. I had to work with Apple and Google to develop the mobile apps, which took a lot longer than me just connecting with Roku, Apple, and Fire. And Apple took us through the ringer, but we've just been on the mobile apps probably for almost 2 months now. But I will tell you that I saw the difference. Like once we hit the mobile apps, how many more people were watching versus watching us on television, because people are on the go, and people,
Yes.
they
Yes.
always have this television with them. They always have
Yes.
this cell phone. They always have that TV with them. So it's easy to be like, man, hey, I'm hanging out in the barbershop waiting to get my hair cut or whatever. And they're
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
let me watch some shows. Let me watch some content.
And through, studying metrics myself, I mean, again, with the changing exponential change of technology, people are consuming their media, if you will, like you said, on their phone, because everyone's on the go. And so that belies a question I have to ask you: is TV, because people talk about it all the time, TV's dead, radio's dead. Is it dead, or is it dying because the paradigm shift is taking place in such a quick fashion that less and less people are sitting at home? You'll always have people sitting at home watching your Tonight Show, et cetera, et cetera. But as the numbers reflect, more people are consuming their content through, like you said, and the apps. The apps is a huge part of that development.
Yeah. What I will tell you is that I think the study that they've been doing says that most people wouldn't mind watching content on their phones because they're always on the go. Like you said, they're traveling, they're holding, where they're waiting on something, and so that gives them a quick chance to catch up on things on their phones. But as far as like movies and really like series, like TV binge watching, they say that people still tend to love watching those things on a bigger screen at home, relaxed, when they're just chilling. And that's usually at 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
So kids, when they get out of school, when they get their permission to use their phones right after school is over, from pretty much 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, kids are on their phones, like trying to see what they done missed, what's going on, catching up on everything. Everyone has their behavioral patterns of when we watch content. And so I think it's a thing where you have to tap into the people that you know, the demographic that you're trying to reach. When do they watch? How do they watch? And how often? So,
yeah, and that makes sense. And like, again, you're always going to have, especially with TV. I mean, we remember back in the day, my TV was like, whatever, 20 inches, 17 inches. They got these like 57 inch or whatever they are TVs. So that definitely lends itself to that, like sitting back movie experience, if you will. And I don't ever want that to replace going to movies, because I love going to movies. But like I said, now with everyone with the stereo surround and the big TVs, like, why? You don't need to leave the crib to watch 18 episodes of Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
Right. And then the thing about it, even with sports, Jeff, we'd love to be in our man cave or go over to a guy's house or go to a bar and be able to see a game on a big screen. But if I have to work, I'm at my job and I'm like, man, I want to watch this game. I got to keep up on what's the score. You're doing that on your phone. You gotta find a way to keep in the loop. And
and that's the beautiful thing, to have all the options. Like, I don't want any one thing to go away, because I love sitting watching TV. I love going to movies, and I also love, to have all these options. But it seems to be, and you would probably know it better than anybody, the trend is moving towards apps and consuming all of your stuff from a mobile standpoint.
Yes.
Well,
totally,
what's I mean, I know you guys are not even a year old yet. You still crawling a little bit, but I mean, we just
crossed over the midway point. So
well, and again, your years of experience, it helps. I would imagine streamline the operation, where you kind of know what to do, what not to do. It's always still a work in progress, but again, you're recognizing the trends and where everything is going. So, I mean, what's going on with it? I mean, obviously you're trying to compile more people to create original content. You and I have talked about it, about, me jumping on, doing some stuff. So what are your plans, man? 5-10 years down the line? You obviously still want the network to be thriving.
Yes, totally, man. And, so that was the real reason why I started. Some people say, man, why did you get out so early and get that rolling, while you're still at STL TV? And I said, well, I really want the things that I need to get done early to be out of the way when I totally resign and leave from STL TV. I want that thing to already be humming. I don't want to have to go like I'm just starting it up. I want it to be rolling so that I can jump in and know, like, hey, These are the things that we're focused on, and let's keep hitting our goals. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I'm really focused on, man. And in 5 years, we want to have the markets that we're working on now. We want to have those like locked down. We want people in those cities to be like, man, yeah, ITV, man, yeah, we love working with them. We love what they're doing in our city. But I want it to be to a point where they feel like they want more people in that city to engage with us because they see what kind of content we're developing and who we're working with. And I'm gonna tell you this, even like Arvin Mitchell and a couple other people, common comedians. I had a conversation with Arvin Mitchell, and he's like, Andre, I'm coming back to town to do a show with Will Downey. And I was like, who? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah. He said, yeah, man, I got some things going on. And so he's like, man, we got to figure out how we can get my comedy show on the ITV network. And people who are having big events, concerts or whatever, I want them to be like, man, we need to tap into ITV network because we want the crowd who comes to the concert to obviously enjoy it, but we want to tap into some more money for people who want to watch it online. So from comedy, sports, also thinking about music, concerts, we want to do it. We want to do it all, man. In 5 years,
and that's the beautiful thing about it. Like you said, making it all encompassing. Not putting any restrictions on your creative, impulses. Like make it, appealable to everyone. And I have to say, I know, I know your name, TV. You have an explanation for it, like those moments. But I can't help my boy putting his own little personal stamp on there because your name is Andre Holman. But, talk to us a little bit about that.
You know what, man? And this is so true. I was like, man, I really want to name this channel, this network, after something other than myself. But I want to have the branding so that people will be like, oh yeah, Andre Holman. I want to have that tie-in. But I'm telling you, man, one day I was at home at the kitchen table and I was just like, man, I said, but what can I do to tie it in but not limit it? And it was like just like how you think of that's how it came to me.
That's beautiful, man. Seriously. It's cool because obviously, like you said, you want your personal stamp on it. But again, that is it encompasses seriously, it encompasses more than just what you're doing because Anthony, I hate to keep quoting Anthony Robbins. He said, in the moment of decision, your destiny is formed. And oftentimes that happens in that moment. That aha. So it's like in one of those double entendres. And that's a beautiful thing coming from you, man. You're firing on all cylinders with that one.
Thank you, man. I know it was so weird, man, because when I started telling people, they're like, oh, man, I love that. And I was like, okay. People received it really well when I first threw it out to just see what they thought. And so I was like, man, we're going with this.
Yeah. And if it ain't broke, don't break it. Cause I'm telling you, that's one of those, it's like, it's so you, man. It's so you.
Oh, thank you, man.
Listen, man, I know I didn't want to keep you too long because I know you're busy. I want you to come back, man, next few months over the summer, especially leading up to the first birthday. Just periodically come back. Like I said, we're going to continue to talk offline about hopefully maybe us linking up, produce some content, etc. But I definitely want to, I've obviously wanted to introduce you to my audience here and to keep everyone updated on the progress because it's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Content is king. And don't be scared. Do not be scared for 1 second. Even with podcasts, man, I know there was an ocean of podcasts out there, so it's very daunting to find a footprint and a foothold, but this is it's just like TV shows. There's plenty of TV shows, but they're not stopping making TV shows because there's a bunch of TV shows. Same with movies, so it's like you don't jump into somebody else's lane. Create your own lane because
find your purpose.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's one of your shows, right? Find your now or something like that.
Yeah. Own your own. Yeah.
Own your yes.
Own your own. Yeah. You got to go and own your own. Find your purpose. But yeah, the Own Your Now show, they do a great job of talking about your purpose. Yeah. Without
a doubt. So shout out to, where can we track this down and, keep track on what you're up to, my man?
Man, just go to itvnet.com. Keep posted, and we are definitely on IG, ITVNet. Definitely keep in the loop on what we're doing because we have some great shows coming up every week, man. I'm meeting with a new producer, talking about this, talking about that, and everybody's just truly excited about the platform and the opportunities that are presented to them, that they can do something that they thought was never, ever possible, man.
Right.
So just finding your purpose.
And big ups to you for, for finding that, that platform and creating this platform for people, because again, there's no shortage of the talent. It's just oftentimes finding ways to get it out there. So I mean, when I saw you launch this, I wasn't necessarily shocked, because like I said, you are a go-getter, bro, seriously. And this is definitely, it's cool to see, as I know you were phasing out, the STL TV. It was so cool to see you jumping into even bigger waters. And again, going back to what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, don't burn bridges, man. Leverage these relationships, utilize your resources. And like I said, just, do you, man, get it how you live it. Cause life isn't long. We only got one go around.
That's it.
Well, and I will post all the links to what you had just mentioned, Instagram or anywhere people could track you down, man. And again, Andre, man, thank you so very much. And I'm happy for you, bro. I'm really happy for you. I know the last couple of years, haven't been easy, losing the P's and stuff. So it's just cool, man. Nose to the grindstone. And, God bless you, man. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. You definitely are doing the Lord's work, baby.
Man, thanks, Jeff. I truly appreciate it, man. And I thank you for your support. And so many St. Louisans have just got on board, man, and just say, Dre, whatever we can do to get behind you to push, man, that's what we're going to do. So thank you. And hopefully, man, we can get together and make some of the stuff that we've talked about happen.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. I'm so glad to know you, man. Andre Holman, ladies and gentlemen, he's currently at STL TV, but right now he is, carving out some bigger things for himself, and not only just for himself in St. Louis and the St. Louis community, which he's been so very, proud of and supportive of. This is national, man. And with these streaming services, it's potentially international. So I've got my eye on you, brother. I got my eye on you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Andre Holman, the TV Network. Peace and so much love, respect.